Hi, it's Willie Crawford here, and this is the first of 101 ways I'm going to show you to make $1,000 per day online. As you can see, I'm being sort of lazy in this first video, and it's because I announced it on social media before I'd even figured out exactly how I was going to record it, and I now have an assistant making a bunch of slides for me and setting me up to do a more professional looking presentation. For this one, I'm just running through a PDF. It's a little three-page PDF. And as you can see from the screen, again, the title is 101 Ways to Make $1,000 Play Online. And I put tune into the free series at and give my URL, which is youtube.com/ the modern Midas. And I am reading out some of the stuff because I'm going to post this on all over my podcast channels, and some of those are audio only. And so for those, I need to spell out some of the URLs. Although I'm going to push those people to either download the PDF itself or uh, watch it from a place where they can see the video. I want them to see the video. Anyway, um, again, the title is 101 Ways to Make $1,000 per Day Online. It's a video series that I wrote and am recording. And my plan is to post at least one video per day until I've posted all 101 ways or methods. And there's no need for you to take notes because the URLs and things like that that I give out in the presentation will be posted in the description below the videos when I post it places like YouTube. So no need to take any notes or try to remember anything. Um, Method number one, which I'm covering in this video, is to be an affiliate marketer who focuses on big ticket items, paying 40%, 50% commission. And the question why big ticket is a lot of people who sell affiliate products in particular will say, assert that it's as easy to sell a product that costs $1,000 as it is to sell one that costs $17. That's not absolutely true, but it's as easy to make easier to make $1,000 per day selling that big ticket item than it is to sell enough of the $17 or $47 products to make that $1,000 per day. So focus on big ticket, and you need very, very little, very, very few sales to make that commission. Um, and perhaps the easiest way to do this is to promote affiliate products or launches that are using a webinar. Why webinars? Well, because when you're selling higher priced items, potential customer usually needs to be convinced more. They need to perhaps see the product owner demonstrate the product or something. They need to be able to ask questions and get real-time answers, hopefully. And they just need to be sold more. They need to hear the sincerity in the voice of the presenter, and it needs to be just more interactive. I've um, I've been a professional trained platform speaker since 2003, and I've been taught that the easiest way in the world to sell a high ticket item is actually in person, face to face. And then in those events where I've spoken on stage, I've often pulled people aside into a breakout room and they're answering their questions one on one. And that's how I've sold $10,000 products. That's the easiest way to do it. Second easiest way to do it is via a live presentation. And so that's what I like doing when I'm doing high ticket. Uh, why high ticket, you might ask? Why not sell a 47 or $97 product? Well, just do the math. You host a webinar selling a $997 product, paying you 50% commission, you're making almost $500 per sale. And I tend to round things off. So let's say you only need two sales to make that $1,000. And it doesn't take a lot of hosting a lot of webinars to, average $1,000 per day. And yeah, it's going to take some time to build up to averaging that when you're first getting started. I've been in business online since 1996, and I've been trained as a professional speaker and in neurolinguistic programming, and I've spoken at close to 100 seminars. I've done thousands of presentations. I've had my own podcast for uh, about 20 years now. to include when I did audio only, and now I do audio and video. So I'm used to doing presentations, and I'm a fairly decent salesperson. I do say so myself. So it takes time to build up to that. It's not realistic for a brand new beginner to expect to start out making $1,000 a day. I don't think, but you can do that because when you're hosting a webinar, you're not doing the selling. The presenter is doing the selling. So yeah, it is possible to do that. Now, you should have at this point two primary questions. One being, where do I find out about these product launches or webinar opportunities? And the second being, how do I get people on these webinars? So let's address the first one, which is where to find these products. I mean, here are some of the places. One is a group that I put together, a private Facebook group called Big Ticket Affiliate Marketers. You could just look that up by searching Facebook in the little search bar. But that's a private group with about probably close to 5,000 members now. And that group was formed for people who like promoting big ticket items as affiliates to join and find those items, find those events, opportunities, and for people who like launching products via affiliates who like selling big ticket items to list their items. So that's the only purpose of that group is to uh, find or promote your big ticket affiliate marketing opportunities, not for network marketing, it's for affiliate marketing opportunities. So you can join that. There's no need to take notes. I'm going to post all the relevant URLs in the uh, comment section or the description below the video. And so when it's posted on YouTube, you can just find it in the description and click on the link and go there. Another Facebook group is called Muncheye Internet Marketing Launch Calendar and JV Affiliate Group. This group is for people who are interested in, again, finding affiliate opportunities. Most of them aren't big ticket, but it's like a calendar that lists upcoming events, coming launches. And so you can sift through that and find the ones that you think will resonate with your audience and you can sell and just sign up for them. I personally have been a joint venture broker off and on since 2015. And uh, in that time, I've done numerous product launches, including some that did seven figures. So I know a thing or two about broker and joint venture, but I don't do that much anymore. So I'm pushing people toward my friend Mike Mers, a good friend, who's also a JV broker, and he owns two URLs I'm giving you here. One is JV Notify Pro. He's actually on version 2 of the software platform, but you can find him at jvnotifypro.com. And he also owns the site jvnewswatch.com. And both either of those places, you can go. You can find upcoming product launches. You can find announcements. You can list your own product. JV Notify Pro is a membership site, and as a member, you you can broadcast your JV opportunities, and there's different price points, and there's different ways to earn points by referring people and getting premium listings on. He sent out an email broadcast periodically that tells of upcoming launches. Some of them are like warm up notifications, maybe a month or two in advance, even. So you can find out about things coming up, that far out, and you can plan for them. Plan things like your promotion schedule, and if you're going to offer bonuses, what to offer, and bonuses are certainly recommended. And it's just the affiliate marketing business. You'll do better in it if you plan things out. So Muncheye and JV Notify Pro, both places where you can plan a little farther in advance. The other thing I listed that I didn't proofread this well enough is to ask in some of these groups, either JV groups that you'll find, and product launch groups that you'll find on places like Facebook. Just ask. You can go to my a big ticket marketing group and ask who knows about or has a product launch coming up soon where you're looking for affiliates promote, and it's a big ticket launch, and people will happily tell you about it. Some of the JV brokers and product owners will reach out to you. And what you should do is ask if it since I'm talking doing webinars, you should ask them if they have a recording you can watch of a webinar they've done, which will do a number of things for you. One is it'll show you whether or not they have any skill at doing presentations. It'll show you, I've listened to webinars where I don't believe a word that the presenter is saying. They don't sound sincere, in their tone of voice, in their inflection, in their nervousness that you can pick up in the presentation. I think, they don't know what they're doing. So therefore, their webinar will not convert because the people who listen to it won't won't believe them. So you want to hear the webinar. In fact, you want to even try to get a look at the product in advance if you can. You sort of owe that to your subscribers, your audience, your tribe, to take care of them and to know that the product works as advertised. That should be a given, but you want to know that the person marketing you as an affiliate, you're not really marketing the product when you host webinars. You're getting traffic to register for the webinar, and then the presenter is doing the selling, which is why one reason people like webinars, because they're not doing the selling. And it's good though. The other question is, how do I get people onto these webinars? I A preferred method is email, because there you're directly in the person's inbox, which is their personal space, and you've got their full attention. And you should plan on sending out a series of emails. I don't recommend promoting a webinar more than a week to 10 days in advance, because people wait to the last minute to register for events like this. They're not sure they're going to attend. And in fact, most who register won't attend actually. But a good, I like to start promoting about a week in advance and then send out a series of emails to include something the day of the event, maybe even an hour or two before the event, saying, I'll send out one saying, hey, we're starting now. Hop on, and it'll include the link to register and join the webinar right then and there. So that's one good way to promote, and it's probably one of the best ways to promote. You can also promote on social media, but the reason I say email is the best way to promote is that, or one of the best ways, is that social media, you're competing with all the other distractions on the social media platform, so you don't have their full attention. But it's definitely plan on using social media. It's just realize it's not as effective as email. With social media, many platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, a lot of these platforms do have the ability for you to announce things like Facebook has, where you can post an event and you give all the details of the event, and then you can share that event on your timeline in groups to individuals, and that's very powerful. With Facebook, I believe the limit is like you can share that event with like 1,000 followers at once. I believe that's the limit right now. But so yeah, you can get the message out in front of a lot of people. Now, if I were an affiliate marketer and I was not hosting the event, uh, where I was not going to be an active part in the event, I would post it, but point that out. But otherwise, you're inviting them onto something. You're as an individual affiliate hosting, where it's done specifically for your audience. So they're, you know, certainly posted as an event. And there's a lot of other platforms that I know platforms like Alignable, where you can post events and invite people. And if you're not familiar with Alignable, that's a social media site that's just for business owners in the US and Canada. And it's very powerful. And these are serious business owners, so there's a lot of places you can get the word out. Social media, I'm big on. I post things on Facebook certainly and LinkedIn all the time, and then I post reminders, because um, most of your audience at any given time is not going to be online. It's not going to be where they would notice the announcement. So plan on posting it numerous times. You're not really annoying somebody to post things multiple times as long as you're not overdoing it. There's also webinar announcement sites, and some set up specifically for that. So you could probably do a Google search or use something like ChatGPT and ask it, give me a list of places to promote a webinar. In fact, that's an excellent idea. Just ask ChatGPT or your favorite AI platform, give me a list of places where I can promote an event, and give me other suggested means of promoting, and social media and the artificial intelligence will probably give you things you never even thought of. So I don't know why I didn't put this on the slide, but that is an excellent way to get additional ideas on how to get people onto these webinars, and you can even ask it for uh, suggestions on ways to get people to show up. And there's a whole art to that to include, things like promising them some gift at the end of the webinar, or something that's only going to be available for people attending live, things like that. So there's a lot of tricks there. And I'm not going to get into all those here, but I may do a separate presentation on that sometime. The other method is direct invites. Don't be shy at just sending a message over a private message over whatever social media platform you're on to appropriate members of your audience, especially those that you interact with a lot, and ask them or tell them about an event and let them ask you questions. That's how you get people to show up live on your events. I'm not shy about texting people. I have lots of, I've been in internet marketing since 1996. I've been on a dozen cruises. I've spoken at close to 100 live events, and a lot of those events I didn't speak at, I, gathered people's contact information, have them in my speed dial, and I'm not shy about saying, "Hey, I'm working on this," or "Here's the event I'm doing. Uh, I want to invite you to it personally." And I'm also at that time, I usually will say, "And what are you up to?" I mean, that's just reciprocity, but it's a good way to get people to show up for your event. So, in fact, you'll get, when people say, "Yes, I will be there," and they give you a solid yes, then they know you expect them to be there. So don't be afraid to use that. Those are my main ways of getting people to show up for your webinars, and you honestly should not expect a huge conversion rate for most of them. But again, as I pointed out, it depends on how good the presenter is and how good the product is, and people can tell that. But I don't expect a lot of people on certain events to show up live. They're expecting a recording. And I can get to, I think I made some more notes on that. Yeah, further thoughts. Um, you really don't need to make a lot of sales on each webinar, but the presenter or the product owner would certainly prefer that you do so. And some will even use that in choosing whether or not to allow you to promote their event. They don't want to waste their time. And uh, some of them, their statistics are tracked by certain platforms, and so they want to be able to show potential webinar hosts that their event converts. And so they don't want someone who's not going to bring the right audience to their events to be an affiliate. After you host one or two webinars, then the product owners who do these webinars, their affiliate managers or JB brokers will begin reaching out to you. Your name will get out there as somebody who has a good following or a good list, and who knows how to get people onto a webinar and get them to show up at a webinar, and they have an audience that converts. And so those people will reach out to you. In fact, I get more people reaching out to me than I could ever consider promoting. That's another thing is I like to give each webinar that I promote uh, a week, 2 weeks of solid promotion. And so I don't want to promote too many other things around that. Um, but I divide my database, my list, and my audience. I subdivide them into categories. So I can't promote more than one thing at a time because I can promote the appropriate thing to the appropriate people. And that's very important. You only want to promote a webinar or whatever to people that you know would be interested in that topic. If you promote too many things they're not interested into them, they're going to tune you out. So you don't want that. You want to keep their attention, keep them engaged. And the way you do that is by talking to them, sharing with them things that they're interested in, that they've told you and showed you that they're interested in. Okay. Um, the other thing is a lot of people register for webinars with the intention of watching the replay. They are very busy these days. And in fact, a lot of the webinars that I promote are what are called on-demand webinars or just-in-time webinars. And so when somebody registers, a lot of the registration forms will show them the option of two or three different times, and it'll also give them the option of watching it right away. I like that. You don't want to give them too many different times to choose from. You want to give them somewhat a feeling of scarcity. So, give them 2 or 3 times to choose from, but not 10 times. And it needs to sort of feel like an event, which means they need to be there at a specific time, a specific day and a specific time. You'll get it'll feel more special to people if it feels like an event. So that's important. But at the same time, I respect my audience. They know that a lot of the webinars are pre-recorded, and I don't treat them like idiots. But I do host a lot of live events. In fact, I've got one coming up. I have several coming up. One coming up in about 2 weeks, and it will be live. The presenter asked me if I wanted a recorded one or a live one. And with the recorded ones, often the presenter will offer you the chance to record the intro and outro, and they will use editing software to paste that into the presentation so it sounds like you're presenting them live, and then at the end you're closing with a live close, encourage your audience to get the product or to ask you questions, things on that line. But when I'm given the option of live or pre-recorded, a lot of times, if I feel like if a lot of other things going on and I don't feel like I can get a huge attendee attendance at the event, I'll just do a pre-recorded one because that way I don't disappoint the presenter, which is my JV partner, and I don't disappoint myself. If I'm doing something live, I'd like to get several hundred people on a live event to actually show up. And so if I don't have enough time to make that happen, then I prefer doing pre-recorded. But that's up to you. I'm just giving you my thoughts, my preferences. The final thought I'll leave you with is follow up is essential. So again, with email, I send several emails before the event, to including one at least one the day of the event, and sometimes I'll send one like an hour or half an hour before the event saying, "We're starting, hop on now," and that will include a link to register or join the event live. That works. And then after the event, for those who couldn't make it, some systems automatically send out follow-up. So once you get somebody to register, the presenters software will send out follow-up messages for those who didn't attend live in particular. So um, you need to find out what's going to happen there. You need to coordinate that with the presenter or the product owner, but you need to follow up. Probably 80 to 90% of sales for a lot of products I promote are done after the event. That's it for method number one, or way number one out of 101 ways of making $1,000 per day online. That is doing webinars for things that sell for more. So um, you don't need to sell so hard because the presenter is doing the selling, and you don't need to sell so many because the commission's higher. Not only that, but you'll get fewer refunds because people who pay $1,000, $2,000 for a product, they plan on using that product, and they don't expect the world like people who they don't expect miracles like people who pay $17 for the ebook and expect it to change their lives in a major way, which is not going to happen, not for $17. Um, so if you found this presentation useful, please give it a like. That helps me with the Facebook algorithm. It encourages me to do more presentations where I teach you something that's been proven to work for me, based on my 20, whatever it is, 29 years of experience in online marketing. Share it with people that you feel will benefit from it. And so on Facebook, YouTube, wherever, LinkedIn. And the other thing is, if you feel so inclined, subscribe to the channel. And if you're going to subscribe, hit the notification bell, because what that'll do is whenever you log into Facebook, there'll be a little icon that will tell you there's a message waiting for you. And that message will generally say that uh, the channel you should subscribe to, they've posted updates recently. And I think there's even a way to get an email notification, but I haven't done that in so long that, and I'm half asleep, so I'm not sure exactly how that works. But hit the notification bell if you want to make sure you don't miss any of my future updates. And again, I plan on posting at least one of these a day, so just plan on coming back to my channel. Thank you very much for your attention.